So now let's talk about black. So with white, didn't get any weaker, I don't think, but maybe it doesn't have as good as removal anymore, but it's just a little more defensive now. But I don't think it got any weaker. It's just a much more defensive color now, so blue-white, it becomes much more viable. Blue just got a lot better in general, defensively and offensively, so there's that. And black kind of stayed the same. Black is still ridiculous. Black is still suitable for a control deck or an aggro deck. Still has a high density of very powerful cards. So you don't have a Vampire Nighthawk anymore, I suppose, at uncommon. But you've got some pretty good things. You've got Urge to Feed. You got a good removal there. You've got Caustic Crawler, who can just be insane. You got Bloodhusk Ritualist, who's insane. So yeah, but it's going to be hard to match Vampire Nighthawk anyway, right? So, or Marsh Casualties. We don't have a new Marsh Casualties, so. But it's still the quality level is very, very high. So Abyssal Persecutor. In limited, he's probably best in like a blue deck because you can bounce him. You use that white card to return him to your hand to gain 4 life. Return him to your hand. Yeah. Is he good in limited? Yeah. I mean, if you've got 3 ways to get him off the board, then 3 to 4, then he's fine, and then he'll be really, really good. Only problem is, I guess you got to save the last one, so he can be a little difficult to play with, but he's certainly not a bad card. It's going to be kind of a weird game with him in play because he's so big and so cheap, but you have to actually get rid of him eventually. But your opponent doesn't really want to get rid of him once you started hitting him because you got so much value out of it. So you ball lightning every turn. Except better. Okay. So yeah, definitely take him very highly if you have ways to get rid of him. Next we have Agadim Occultist. 2 and a black for a 0/2. He's an ally, reanimates a creature, casting cost equal to the number of allies. Has to be from an opponent's graveyard though, so that's kind of annoying. Can't be your own graveyard. It'd be nice if you could do your own graveyard. But it's black, so you should be killing your own opponent's creatures and have a target. Obviously he's not very good on his own, but if you have 2 or more allies out and they have 2 casting cost card in their graveyard, you can keep getting the same one back and chump blocking with it or something. If you get a bunch of allies, then it can just be insane. So not very good in a non-ally deck, or not good at all in a non-ally deck. The more allies you have, the more playable he is. Probably want, at least 5 other allies, because it's 0/2, he's just not going to do anything if you don't have other allies. So. Then we got Anawan, the Ruined Sage. I say in limited, this guy's a bomb. 3 and double black for 4/3. Legendary Vampire Shaman. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, each player sacrifices a non-vampire creature. It's interesting that it's your upkeep, so they get to untap and try and deal with them with all their mana untapped, so that kind of sucks. But if they don't deal with them and you've got a reasonable number of vampires in your deck, maybe 6, 5, you'll just totally wreck them. Even if you don't have a lot of vampires, just kill all their creatures and just have Anawan left over. So you take him really highly, obviously. Over most any other creature, probably over most removal, depending on your curve and whatnot. Now we have Bloodhusk Ritualist. Artwork on this thing is awesome. She looks pretty friggin' evil. I like that. Really cool artwork. Academia Cultist isn't bad either. Persecutor's kind of stupid. Anyway, Bloodhusk Ritualist is crazy good in limited. It's what you always want in limited. You want to play discard in limited, but you don't want to be stuck with it later because it can be really powerful, right? But this one you're not stuck with because you always get a creature out of it. And then if you're playing heavy black, and you kick this a couple times. 5 mana, get a 2/2. They discard 2, 6. They discard their hand, etc. So, I mean, it's only 1 more mana and X basically. Then you discard X spell from M10, right? That's it. Of course, that one's at random, I think. Anyway, so card's really good. Take it really highly. Okay, so next we have Bajoka Brigand. He's one of the better allies. He can't block, but he starts as a 2/2. So the fact that he's a growing ally for 2 for a 2/2 just makes him good. So if you get a lot of allies, you can take him pretty highly. You don't have to take him that highly. You should float a little bit. But yeah, he's really, really good. Brink of, really solid creature anyway. I mean, he's not better than Bloodhusk or any of those other guys. Not better than him. Probably he's better than Jagwasp Swarm if you're in the if you're in allies. Anyway,